Okay, we are live with Sam Rogers here, and he is the video expert. As you know from the article, that video was the number two trend for 2018, and I wanted to just do an interview with the expert in video to share some practical tips. So first, welcome and thank you for doing this call.
Thank you. We're number two. We're number two. Yay!
Yep, and we're actually doing this call with a Zoom meeting and recording that. So here we are using video to talk about video.
Yeah, and one of the cool things about the last minute change to Zoom, as you can see, I'm in my hometown here.
Nice.
Got the bay behind me, but really, no, I'm in the middle of Utah. And
is that what Utah just looks like a green abyss? Is that?
Yeah, it is. Well, it's not exactly green. Right now, it's all white out there. It's a white abyss.
Yeah. We've got some snow here too. It's actually snowing right now outside in Truckee, California.
Oh yeah, I think maybe if I look, I can see it from here.
Yeah, that's cool. I need to get some of those backdrops going on mine. I need the green screen first. Cool. Well, so when we're talking about video for e-learning, what are we talking about? Is it this? Is it explainer videos? Is it video scenarios? What are we talking about?
Yes. Whatever it is that's moving images, I consider to be video. I've gotten into debates with folks on like if animated GIFs are actually video, and I consider it a video format. You're dealing with moving images. You're not dealing with sound. You're not dealing with something that's technically even a video file format. But the same kind of design principles that you can use with video in general, you can apply to such a constrained format. So I just say moving images with or without sound. I consider that video, and I play around with it all.
Cool. Great. Thanks. And so, why video? What are the benefits here with e-learning with video?
Well, video is just another delivery medium. I mean, you've got, text, still images, audio. There's things that as instructional designers and developers that we've mastered some skills at, to make online courses or to stand up and give presentations in front of a room, with a PowerPoint deck or whatever. But with video, it's good at certain things way better than those media, except maybe everything other than in person. Number one, is just really easy to use, and it's fairly ubiquitous. You see the little triangle button, you know what to do, and it's a pretty easy way to convey things like sequence. Anything to do with a process. I can do this in this format. I can't do that anywhere else.
Yeah.
You can show things that have action, obviously, but really. More than motion, emotion, being able to convey emotional context, all those subtle nonverbal cues, things like that are, just more like how we usually are. You can do that with video, and it's just something that everybody knows how to use and they know how to receive. We spend a lot of time watching video, so it's just like an easy switch to make for folks.
Yeah,
who are
totally.
receiving that.
Totally. And then drawbacks, is it bandwidth? Is it editing time? Like what are the naysayers going to say about video as a trend?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely a video guy, but it's not like video is the best thing and you should always use video. You should use video when it works. So you mentioned bandwidth. Like, don't shoot a video if your target audience can't get the video. Like if you're making something and someone is in the distant branch office, getting their bandwidth through a straw, don't do a video, please. And really, whenever any simpler mode will do that. So I'm a big proponent of like, hey, we can make this a quick job aid PDF. Let's do that. It doesn't need to be engaging. Yeah. People just need some kind of reference to know what to do. And, also I would say don't shoot a video when there's disagreement over the content. And that comes up in more context than you might think. Like everybody says, oh, this is the policy, this is how we do it. And then you get out into the field or into the branch office or whatever, and you're shooting something that's someone actually doing that on the job, and there's a discrepancy. Video has a way of surfacing stuff like that.
Yeah, actually, that was going to be one of my questions too. That I think the timing task it's right now is how much for video is the time recording the video versus prep time and post production and all of that.
It's more prep than anything if you're doing it right. I don't know. I guess I'd say like 40% prep, 20% production, 30% post production, and 10%, I think that numbers are right, 10% of the administration. Don't forget, like if you were to study cinematography or go to film school or something, they'll teach you pre-production, production, post-production. That's the methodology. That's the workflow. But for us in learning and development, there's also the fourth one, which is how does this stuff get up on the LMS and who does that? Oh, that's you.
Yeah, totally.
So all of the things that surface that, whether that's in a learning management system or some other content management system, if you're on SharePoint or whatever, like getting that content to people is also your job. So so that full workflow, don't forget about that part, administering it.
Great. And then from a, is it realistic for people to start doing video in terms of what equipment they might need? And this could be from us doing video like this to explainer videos. Like what is realistic for what I'd say is like the typical e-learning developer with not a mega budget? Do they need a DSLR and do they need fancy editing equipment, or how would they, is it realistic? Can they do it?
Yes, you can do it. No, you don't need anything except probably what's in your pocket or on your desk right now. And if you're checking Facebook, that thing that you're using to do it, the little device, that. The truth is that this is like a 4-year-old Android phone now. Like I have an iPad Pro and things that shoot higher quality or whatever. But even this thing that like has a cracked screen and is a couple years old, this shoots better video than anything that you saw back in the 1900s in terms of quality.
Yeah.
So if you were ever entertained by like a TV show from the 90s or a movie, or, like if you thought that maybe Hitchcock did some good stuff or, like that, they didn't have anything this good to work with.
Yeah.
And in terms of video quality. So there is no constraint when it comes to the technology. And I highly encourage, and I teach this in all of the conferences and workshops and stuff that I do, until you run out of options on your phone, don't buy anything because you don't know what you need. Now, obviously a DSLR camera is going to give you more options and better quality results than you can get off of this, but you don't know how to use that. And until you figure out everything that this does, you're not ready for that because it's just a mountain of confusion. You don't know which parts are important. And you don't know if it's ultimately going to make any difference for the folks that are receiving this. The bar has been lowered by YouTube in terms of video production quality that people expect. And for e-learning videos, it doesn't have to like be on a big, huge screen. It's only got to be on like a computer screen or maybe a device screen or something like that. But you're not working with stuff that you need to shoot in 4K or something where that's going to make a difference. All you're doing is clogging up the bandwidth for the network. And you can shoot stuff that looks really good, that looks better than TV quality on your phone very easily. And you don't need to buy anything. And even if you don't have like a fancy smartphone, and you probably do, someone who does. Like you could borrow it and you can use it for 10 minutes, put it in airplane mode, shoot something and get the footage off. Like there's really no barrier.
And would you say just shoot handheld, or should people be getting a tripod? What's the right setup for when you're using
I happen to have in my hand some things that I've got in a blog post that's called Smartphone Cinema Top 5 Shopping List.
Oh, awesome.
And
I'll link to that.
And yes, having a tripod is really good. And the thing that makes your video look amateurish quicker than anything is when you start getting the shaky cam kind of thing. But just a very simple tripod that, like, this is $5 on Amazon, and this is maybe $4. So here's $10 worth of, yes.
Like I have the wrong hookup there. That's for my camera. But
well,
something similar, yeah.
But there's a very easy adapter you can get, that's got the little thing that fits any size phone, and being able to just keep it still. And, maybe you build a little stack of books or something to get it at the right levels for what you're shooting or whatever. For $10 on Amazon, or borrow someone else's. I mean, like, a lot of folks just have these things laying around. Being able to stabilize the shot is really important. Not using the zoom, the pinch and zoom on your screen is important. You want to zoom with your feet. Like, if you want a closer shot, get closer to the camera. If you want a shot that's farther away, get farther away from the camera. Like, it's not rocket science, but just keep it real simple and start. Just start doing stuff.
So let's say somebody is not using video at all in their e-learning program, what would you recommend that they start with? Do they do a short interview with a subject matter expert? Do they find a leader? Do they do a explainer video? Where do you recommend they start if they want to get something going with video in their program?
Yeah, starting probably with something where you don't have people on screen is a good idea. So doing just simple screen capture kind of stuff. You mentioned explainer videos.
Yep.
You can do that with animation very easily. There's a lot of tools out there to do it. And just put a little bit of voiceover into the microphone or not. Like, it depends on what you need. Being able to record a call like we're doing right now.
Yeah.
If you can record like a Skype call or something with the top salesperson about why this sales technique that people are about to receive is awesome and how they got to be the top salesperson by using it, you need maybe 10 or 15 seconds of that you can capture with the technology like we're using right now with something like Skype. And you don't even need to show the salesperson on the other end. You can just show like their bio picture or whatever and the little quote across the screen and get that live audio and that emotion of it. That's video. And people are now primed for the regular old content that they're going to get in their SCORM 1.2 compliant online course, or however it is that you're developing it. You're using just a little bit of video to be able to get that emotional value and basically to make things more relevant for people. I would start with that. Do not start with the leader. Like, I hear all the horror stories of, well, we were going to shoot video, so I got the president of the company to say a few words for our new employee orientation course, and it really didn't go well.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. Start with somebody maybe a little lower down on the food chain.
Yeah, cool. Start with the smallest, simplest, easiest, cheap thing you do. Something's not critically important. Don't shoot the first video. Shoot the one that's like in the middle somewhere where like the quality doesn't need to be amazing right up front. Start with, make it easy on yourself.
Great. And then good examples of video. Where would you suggest we go? Should we be looking at things like Lynda? Do you look at lynda.com as a good example, or is there something else that's going on in L&D that we should take a look at? Yeah,
Lynda's got some great online courses that use video well. They produce all that stuff at LinkedIn. You mentioned explainer videos.
Yep.
The godfather of explainer videos, Lee Lefevre of Common Craft. Mm-hmm. He's actually got an Explainer Academy course, or just even watching the Common Craft videos with the little cutout people. Like, he was the guy that started that maybe 10 or 12 years ago. Great examples. And you can learn directly from him. Mark Lassoff at punkslearning.com. He does some cool stuff. My favorite is probably Wistia. Wistia does some really good instructional videos, and they have a blog there. They're a hosting provider like a YouTube or something like that.
Yep.
But they have some fantastic tutorials on like how to set up lighting or stuff like cameras, like we're talking about, how to use DSLR stuff when you're just getting started, how to set up production, all that kind of stuff in their videos are really good. But ultimately, video isn't competing against other e-learning video. It's competing against all video. As my friend Mark Lassoff, who I just mentioned, likes to point out, like when you're, the first step is just to make things not suck. Like the first video that you're going to do is there's going to be more light behind you than in front of you, and suddenly you're in the witness protection program, and like all that kind of stuff you need to work out. Either it's good or it's off. Those are pretty much the only options. And so it can be kind of a high stakes game, which is why I say start easy. Make it easy on yourself. First, learn to not suck. And then you can look at making it better. Then you can look at making something that's really good. Generally, that's going to be by simplifying, not by using more and more complex stuff.
Great. And then where would we get more information about you if we want to follow what you're doing in video, and where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Snap Synapse, SNAPSYNAPSE. Gmail, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the things, snapsynapse.com. I post frequently answers to questions that people are asking, and I respond to stuff on Twitter all the time. Like people send me pictures of their setup, and I'll say, "Oh, that's great, but you should put some of the foam under the microphone too, otherwise it's going to like vibrate on that desk." So yeah, you can reach out to me anytime, any place. Also, every Friday, there's TLD cast, actually every day from 8 to 9 a.m. Pacific time. There's a live streaming for L&D professionals kind of show that happens. And every Friday, I host Video Friday. We talk about video-specific issues.
Great.
So, that is live video. You don't have to show up and be on the video, although you can if you want. It's got like the chat thing going down the side, and then you'll have an interview often like this, maybe 3 or 4 people in little Brady Bunch squares talking about video stuff, the learning event. And
cool. Some serious video geeking out. Love it.
and we do sometimes geek out on all the specs and all the technical stuff.
Great. And before I let you go here, I'd love it if you'd change your background for me one more time.
Yeah. Well, I can actually, why don't I zoom out and show you a little bit about, let's see if I can, the background behind me here. Now it's not working. I didn't test this in Zoom. See, I tested it in Skype where we were going to be until 5 minutes before this call. Well, I can still.
Well, while you're messing with that. Out. Oh, nice. So that everyone knows, I tried to do Skype and record it, but it was a third-party plugin, and there were some issues with that. So we switched to Zoom, and we can actually, with the free version, you can do up to a 40-minute recording like this. Super easy to use. You just send somebody a link, and the paid version is unlimited, but on the free one, if anyone wants to get started, it's 40 minutes of recording, and they give you a lot of features for free. It's pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Can I add 2 more things before we go to?
Of course.
So we've spent a lot of time talking about video. We haven't talked about audio, and audio is critical. So people tend to geek out on all the visual parts, but it's really the sound that will make people tune out faster than anything. And they might hang in for some bad camera work or the lighting that looks a little too bright or whatever. But if it doesn't sound good, people bail.
So if you're shooting on your phone, then what do you do? I mean, I know, like, if I'm shooting a video of my daughter skiing, all you hear is the wind blowing, right?
Right.
So especially if you're shooting outdoors, what do you do from an audio standpoint from a mobile device?
Well, in the one with your daughter skiing, like, it might be better to just not try and get audio for that, and to put like a kick-ass music track behind it, and not have the sound of the wind. But in that case, I would use a microphone like this. This is the Rode VideoMic Me.
Oh, nice.
And it's called a dead cat. Actually, that's what it's called. There's like a big Muppet looking thing.
Okay.
And that reduces the wind noise for situations like that.
Yep.
And this can plug directly into your phone if you have one with a headphone jack. And then you can listen out the back. This is a headphone.
So that works if you're doing a close-up interview. If they're further away, then what do you need to do? A wireless?
Yeah, if you're interviewing someone and they're a better distance away, I would use a clip-on lavalier mic with a bit of lead on it. That's basically the difference between good microphone and a bad microphone is just how close it is to the source. You don't need to spend a bunch of money. This thing is like $60. This was, I think, 12.
Oh, nice.
It's not a whole bunch of money. For something like this, I'm talking to you now on a USB mic. This is one that's a blue snowball mic. I've got the higher end ones, but for this interview, this is fine. This is great for being able to overdub stuff on your explainer video or whatever. But make sure that you get good audio, that it's the right level, and that it's not suddenly with a bunch of noise all over the thing.
Yeah.
And the wind and all that kind of thing. It's really important. And also the second thing is people often try to batch their process too early to get to like the assembly line method. Oh, we're going to shoot all these things and then we'll edit all of them later.
I hear an uh-oh coming.
Please don't, because the thing that happens is it turns what is a very small and correctable oops into a colossal expensive mess. Just take something from script, shoot it, edit it, post it, update it, like do all of the things that you need to do with one video. If you're just starting, do it again with another video. The whole process. Do it again with another video. Okay, now you can start to see things that you might want to do in bulk. Let's shoot 2 videos at once and see how that goes. It's way better to do that than to essentially batch all of your learning process into something that gets very messy very quickly. So please just do the whole thing start to finish. And that way you can iterate your knowledge, right?
Yeah.
You can keep making it better. And you keep making this video way better than that video, way better than that video, but you're not making all of them, suck for the same reason.
Awesome. That's a great tip. Don't go shoot a month of video and then find out you made the same mistake throughout, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for all those tips and for being here to share your knowledge with my audience and hopefully get them started if they're not using video on their first video project in their e-learning programs.
Yeah, and feel free to reach out anytime. I can send some links to you too, to blog posts.
Great. I'll add those to the show notes. Anything you send me, I'll add to the show notes, and any links or products or whatever we talked about, I'll put those in there as well.
Cool.
Awesome.
Well, thanks again.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
Take care.